to do with the initiative petition reform that she was handling that bill. And yes, many of us were shocked at that particular series of events. She's not running for office again, but I think probably for some other reasons. And but the reality it shows you how important that subject of voter ID is to both Republicans and Democrats, because the same people who came out and voted for the very, very liberal Supreme Court justice in Wisconsin also voted for the picture ID.
How about that?
Yeah.
So that's a big disbursement of ideals.
No, absolutely, 100%. So it's so yes, we face a similar challenge here with the things that we need to do. We without a doubt need to go in and fix some of these more egregious parts of Amendment 3, like killing a live baby, late term abortions, and all of those things, and the transgender aspect, all of those things that the proponents of that amendment said weren't in there anyway. Well, we got to clarify those things.
Yeah.
The other thing we need to do, and it's not in either version, but I'm going to push real hard to get it in there, is our definition of fetal viability prior to Amendment 3 passing, because Amendment 3 passing, once again, leaves fetal viability up to the person who is performing or going to perform the abortion. Okay, well, according to the Constitution, that could be an EMT or a CNA or a guy, for that matter, with advanced life saving from the Red Cross, right?
Sure.
So the reality is that those are some things that they argued, the proponents of the amendment argued were not in there. Well, okay, so let's just clarify that language. Paying for abortions with state money, they said it wasn't in there. Well, then how come Planned Parenthood, one of their lawsuits right now is to determine whether or not state funds can be spent on abortions? Well, I think it flies in the face of the Hyde Amendment at the federal level. So no matter what our Constitution says, but we need to clarify that, because that only applies to federal funds like Medicaid and things like that. I don't want my state dollars going to perform abortions either. And because I don't care how you feel about it. Some people will say, well, I want my state funds. Well, then let's just agree not to spend state funds on it so we can put that money on
somebody's got to be in control. They have to have adults in Congress.
We need people to vote. That's what we need.
That's true. That's true. But you're getting a lot of outside money coming in. Is that wrong?
No, it's 100% wrong. And in the
case, it is wrong. They're not having 100 people that are out of state contributing to things like Amendment 3?
Yes. And so on Amendment 3, there was a provision in that very bill that you were talking about, or I'm sorry, not on Amendment 3, on the initiative petition reform. There was a provision in there that limited money to only money in state on initiative petitions in Missouri. Right?
Can you do that?
I don't know why we can't.
I don't know either. I thought I had a conflicting concept from our friend Bill.
No, his legal theory is that, well, that's a free speech restriction, and but at the same time, we don't allow people from Wisconsin to vote in Missouri elections. So I think that that's something that we should challenge, and I would think that the U.S. Supreme Court would be interested in that. Certainly, a free speech thing is I get to go on the public square and speak all I want.
Yeah.
And we have said that includes who I give money to. But for an election that has only to do with what happens inside that jurisdiction, I think a legal argument could be made. Now, keep in mind, I'm only a jailhouse lawyer. Bill is a real lawyer. I'm just a jailhouse lawyer. So
you're a state rep.
My education is a little spotty on the subject, I will admit it. And but the reality is, I think it is something that we need to determine.